And we're live.
Is that a Rutgers hat, CJ?
It's a big day for Rutgers, Mike.
Wow.
It is.
Are you going to watching the game during the pod?
I'm going to have the score open on my other monitor, but won't be watching it.
Not going to be watching it.
A member of our morning show, Jerry Recco at WFAN, is the play-by-play guy for Rutgers. So he's out there in Indiana right now. Yeah. That's where they are, right? Indiana, I think?
No, the first four is in Dayton.
Oh, Dayton. Right. Dayton.
CJ, what do you think? Talk us through it. Give us a little CJ scouting hour.
Yeah, so the game's on True TV. I don't know what that is all about.
Impractical Jokers. That's what's on True TV.
You don't know what it's all about?
Well, I've never looked at a game on the ESPN app and seen, it's on
True TV.
True TV.
Yeah, that's the fourth channel in the NCAA tournament for games at one time.
Okay.
There's CBS, TBS, TNT, True TV.
So now I know a little bit about what it's
there you
about.
go.
But yeah,
that is the Impractical Jokers channel, right?
I feel like there's like plenty of those channels now. Like MTV like only played Ridiculous for 18 hours out of the day. So there's a bunch of those network television.
I wasn't asking for the True TV scouting report, CJ. I was asking for the Rutgers scouting report.
That's what I know more about that. I couldn't tell you much about that. I'm just supporting my one semester alma mater.
Okay. Well, look, I like Ron Harper Jr. He's thick.
Big
I
hair.
like a wing that's thick.
Yep.
Boy.
Geo Baker's fun to root for. Mulcahy on the wing there, defending. Notre Dame's good too. Blake Wesley is a nice prospect. Hope if he decides to go out, he could be a first rounder for Notre Dame. Going to be an interesting team. Interesting.
Names college players.
Mike, who do you think wins this game tonight?
I think there's I read a pretty wafty Notre Dame puff piece about Blake Wesley and he's a freshman and the senior whose job he took, Prentice Hub for the Athletic. And so I can read a puff piece and buy in pretty quick. But Rutgers just takes guys down, man. There's something about those guys.
Last year was
there's a dirtiness to them, and I love it. So I would go with Rutgers tonight.
Good call.
There it is. There's the pick.
There's the pick.
The Mike DraftKings pick of the night.
But we are really on the precipice of me losing my mind for 4 straight days.
Yeah, I know.
This is going to be a lot.
I know. Ready? CJ, room divider? All right, here we go.
Let's do it.
The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Sign up for DraftKings Sportsbook by using promo code RTRS. Brought to you by Body Bio. Use code RTRS20 for 20% off at bodybio.com. Adam Ksebe, the official realtor of the process at processrealtor.com. And the official sponsor of the Corner 3 newsletter with Zoe, Stateside Vodka, statesidevodka.com. Remember, every first order, you get the rocks glass for free. On the show today, the Sixers celebrate Joel Embiid's birthday by painfully beating Cleveland. A win, good win, bad win. We will discuss it. It is a win. Joel Embiid, by the way, turned 28, appeared on the Draymond Green podcast. We'll talk to that as well. And a great mailbag question, one about Clippers. We'll get to that one. Not the Clippers, but Clippers. And which NBA players, star NBA players, put up numbers but have total loser energy. Before we get going, I did mention Stateside Vodka. You see this? It is the Stateside Vodka iced tea and vodka. Let me crack it open. Oh, yeah. Just 100 calories. It is just the right amount of sweetness. It's not carbonated because, let me tell you a secret, iced tea is not carbonated. Neither is vodka. Only 100 calories, tastes perfect, and just a sweet can. I'm still waiting for the gear. You guys got to make t-shirts or hoodies or something. StatesideVodka.com. Without any further ado, Amos and the chef.
We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We was right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We were right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. Say the name.
Say the name. Say the name. I say the name. I say the name. Say the name.
Likes Tricky Sanchez forever.
Welcome to the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast. I am Spike Esker, along with a guy who talks into a mic, rides a bike, wears his pants while he does his dance, ready to talk before he goes for a walk. It all rhymes. That is Mike Levin.
Oh. How long did you spend on that? Brutal. Some people got back to us. Most people said that they didn't like the rhyming. I feel like most people didn't listen to that podcast because it was after a loss. Or wait.
It was after a win.
It was after a win, but it felt like a loss.
Yeah.
Anyway, the highlights guy
What?
on NBA.com rhymes everything for some reason. He's been doing it for years.
CJ,
and
can you
it's bothered
play
me
it?
forever.
Can you? So this is what we were talking about. If or not, CJ.
We got a clip?
Yeah, we got clip.
Rocking with the best. Roll Paris with your top 10 to win. Starting on the left coast, that man named Curry. You see Steph on the TV channel. In the game, he was flaming hot like the left sink handle. Oh, yeah. Through the defense, making it look
First
too
of all,
easy. 47.
this isn't even the guy I've been thinking about. There's several guys that do this. It must be like you
That
guys
all
have to
rhyme.
rhyme. Welcome to here's your job. Fill out your start paperwork and get your rhymes fucking down immediately.
If I remember correctly, was it Common that did that at the NBA All-Star game when he introduced everybody?
That is exactly what it was.
He did the same thing, right? Anyway, thank God. Happy birthday, Joel Embiid. His 28th birthday. It makes me feel old knowing that Joel Embiid is 28 because he got here when he was so young. But thank God for one Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, because Embiid was a monster tonight and Maxey saved the day in a game that I thought everybody looked like they had a lot of pop in the first half of the game, and then that pop disappeared, especially for one max level player in the second half. I also thought it was a relatively solid Toby game, more the first half than the second. But thank God for Embiid and Maxey. Cleveland's a good team. They were on the road, but it's just like you just wanted a game where they just fucking looked like they did right in the beginning of this. And this was not all the way through. But
Yeah, I mean, they've been starting off extremely poorly. And so they decided to switch it up and end poorly, which was interesting. Same thing against Denver. They started really hot. They were looking good. And then it fell apart. In Denver, they couldn't hold on to the lead. The Denver game didn't bother me. Embiid's incredible. And they hit a couple crazy shots. And it's a back-to-back, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, nice to get this win. Cleveland is a good team. They were playing with like downhill energy, I would say, in the first half. It felt like they were moving the ball quickly. It felt like they were passing the ball well. It's transition defense is the issue. Like, it's weird to identify something as like, this is the issue, and for them to like not have really any way to do better at it aside from like get faster guys with better instincts. They just don't have those guys. They don't have fast guys that are athletic. We have who they have. So it's basically, against Jokic, they just kept getting torched, like outlet pass after outlet pass. Guys contest the three and then keep running, and all of a sudden Jokic hits them for like a 70-foot in stride dunk. And but aside from that, offense looked really, really good. Hitting shots. Embiid doing his thing. 20 and 10 in the first half. Guy's the man. Happy birthday.
happy birthday, Joel.
I'm not concerned. Still not concerned.
Okay.
Here I am. Everybody seems concerned. Not for me. Playoffs, baby.
Wow, the playoff motherfucker. We'll show the shirt later. The shirt is now available, the playoff motherfucker playoff shirt. I don't know if I wanted... Just...
You seem like you're going through something.
I just dribble through legs, miss step back. Like, just fucking lay it up, man. Just stop worrying about getting fouled every fucking time. Just get by your guy and shoot a fucking floater or lay it up, or just like Harden definitely had some juice the first 2 quarters, But then the second half, it just like, I swear, even though he shot it, he looks like he's a little spooked from three. He did pass up a couple that he was wide open on. And I just fucking get by your guy and lay it up or something. Just lay the fucking ball up.
Well, he did that a bunch of times tonight. Finished through contact a couple times, a couple floaters tonight and Denver. Yeah, I mean, look,
I'm a little worried, man.
I can tell.
Worried.
The way I look at these kinds of things, Harden is on the downside of his prime. He is who he is. There's no like, you can change Embiid a little bit. Maybe you can change Tobias. Maybe, I don't know. Maxey's still moldable, all these kinds of things. But like James Harden has been very, very good for a very long time doing exactly what he does. And this is what you sign up for. And I'm very happy to sign up for it over and over again. I understand the frustrations, and we will learn them the rest of the season. Although I won't be frustrated in the season because that's against the rules. And into the playoffs. But the biggest issue, I will say it's his only job. It obviously encompasses like more than one thing. Like occasionally winning non-Embiid minutes.
Yeah.
And they did tonight. Harden was a plus 18. DeAndre Jordan's corpse was a plus 2. That's fine. That's plenty. Job done. We did it. They did it. Congrats. Like Doc should give them every opportunity to win those second unit minutes without Embiid, because he can put Maxey, Harden, and Tobias on the court at the same time, and then let Embiid play with, Niang, Danny, Shake, Isaiah Joe, friggin' whoever. It's Embiid. He'll figure it out. And so if Harden can keep winning non-Embiid minutes, then that's all you're asking for. It really is. I love how he passes guys open. There was a play in the Denver game where he swung it to Maxey, like encouraging, like the pass was so perfectly placed that it was encouraging him to like catch it in stride and attack, go to the rim. And that's nice. It feels like the doldrums of the Nets game, and then I guess the Magic's game was a little bit like that too.
They got just past the doldrums in this one, I think.
I think so too. And so it's just, they're moving the ball while they played aggressively. They lost the lead a couple times. I think there was a couple fluky Cleveland foul things that they got that were a little bit of a bummer. Harden, I think, sometimes waits too long holds the ball too long. I wish he played with the level of aggressiveness all the time. Not even aggressiveness, but just moving. I think like people just say aggressiveness, but like just keep it moving, like keep the ball swinging. I think sometimes he waits a little too long, whether or not that's like breaking a press or expecting the refs to bail him out, or just like the guy's open, find it there. Like it seems like he's such a rhythm player with the ball in his hands that he sometimes just needs to like dribble around for a little bit to get a feel for it, and then guys to make plays off of that. But I think that's why you've seen him in the playoffs. Like when he's expecting, like, I'm going to get this call, I don't need to make this play because they're going to call this foul. And in the playoffs, when things tighten up, he doesn't get it. And it's like, well, that's how it's going to be. So there's going to be frustrations, but I'm hoping that Embiid is good enough. And then Harden and Maxey and Tobias with the second unit, with DeAndre, I guess, will be enough to just like keep him treading water in those minutes, and then, win the championship.
Are you really feeling okay? Or are you just...
I really am. There's frustrating things. Like, I don't know why DeAndre Jordan's on this team.
Oh, he sucks.
Like Moses Brown got picked up last week on a 10-day, and he's immediately better than DeAndre Jordan. I don't understand it. I don't understand why we keep living through these very fine young players that could contribute. B-Ball Paul, who did some very fun dancing on the Sixers Instagram for Embiid's birthday, and Charles Bassey, who's dominating the G League. Like, it's simple stuff. You just need them to be like, have like live bodies and try hard and like catch lobs and deflect some shit. And they do that. And DeAndre doesn't. He's old and slow, and has been played off of like several teams. Mm-hmm. So that's frustrating. But, if he's on the court with those other guys and they're winning those minutes, then I guess I'll just, bite my tongue until it loses them a playoff series. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, look, the four main guys in the first half, 59 points on 31 shots. Like, that's incredible offense. They played really well. They're moving the ball well. Tobias was getting shots up quickly, like looking like he figured it out. All the stuff. They played pretty good against the zone. Cleveland's a good team. Darius Garland's really good. They hit some shots. Overhelped a little bit. It's the same shit. And I think once the rotation tightens up, it kind of is and has, but they're good enough to be like, we have 3 or 4 excellent players on the court at the same time. I'm not concerned. I refuse to be concerned. The regular season for chumps.
I want to talk about the blank points on blank shots thing, because I had a thought the other day when I did it, and then I thought about it. We were talking before the pod started. The tournament has begun, which is Mike's time to shine. Well, the first 4. That's the tournament officially, right? You can call it the tournament. Do you refer to that as the tournament?
It's a little appetizer.
Okay,
I think the first 4. I don't feel. I'll watch them, but I won't feel wildly compelled to. I think it's nice. I would love to go to Dayton one time to be at the first 4. That'd be fun. But it's half. And I don't think if you win your conference tournament, you shouldn't have to play in the first 4.
Turn your team's victory into your own big win. New customers bet $5 on any team to win during the tournament. You get $200 in free bets if they win. If you're a new customer, it's that simple. If DraftKings Sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, you can join the college hoops action with the pools, the DraftKings pools. Everyone plays free pools all March long at a shot at a share of over $250,000 in prizes. Just join a pool. Answer questions like who will make it to the next round, who will hit the most 3-pointers, so on and so forth. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code RTRS. Bet $5 on any college hoops team to win. You get $200 in free bets if they do. If they win, you win with promo code RTRS at DraftKings Sportsbook. 21 plus. Restrictions apply. See show notes for details. The blank points on blank shots, it doesn't really tell the story, I guess, because 2 free throws is a possession.
Yeah, we talked about this before. There's
did we?
Yeah, it's like chances, I think, is the better if you count them as if you count free throws for half kind of thing. But the idea being that free throws are more effective is the statistical idea for it. But I do think that it is a little oversimplifying. You're still using up possessions. Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to. I don't want to belabor the Harden thing. Yeah. So Embiid was great. We've gotten used to it. I don't even know what to say anymore about him. That 3 was amazing. And I don't know if it's like this for all great players on other teams, because I don't really feel it when I watch the Sixers broadcast team, but every away broadcast I watch seems in awe of Embiid. They're just like, I don't know what you do with that guy.
Mm-hmm. He causes a lot of those things.
Yeah, it's great to see, and that's how Cleveland was.
Yeah, he's rolling a lot more than I thought he would. I thought he would sprinkle it in. I wasn't as concerned as a lot of other people, but I do think that him and Harden are playing off each other nicely. And it's nice that even though Harden is frustrating at sometimes and not exactly the player he used to be, he's still good enough to draw 2 guys 35 feet away from the basket.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bigger deal than anything else. I wish he was more of a catch and shoot threat? Absolutely. But I wish he moved off ball a little bit more. Absolutely. He did move off ball a little bit tonight. I noticed it. There's he relocated on a 3 and I was like, okay, I see it. I don't know if he took the 3, but he did relocate enough and that was nice. But yeah, Embiid rolling is good. We'll see again if it lasts into the playoffs, but I thought he passed well, Embiid. 5 assists. There was a couple nice looks to Danny in the corners. I thought those were always cool to see. It seems like he really there's a nice security blanket, sort of like a tight end in the flats type of thing, for Joel to just go to whenever he needs. I would like him to stop dribbling so much in transition.
Mm-hmm.
I get it when it was hey, your starting point guard is Korkmaz. I get why you're just I'm fucking bringing the ball up. Or when Tobias is going to just dribble into a 19-foot contested post up, whatever.
He doesn't have to now.
He doesn't have to now.
Yeah. And
especially if Maxey's out there. I get that Joel wants to go fast, but so does Maxey. You just don't need to do it. Once in a while, sure. Grab and go, use that as a threat, etc. But when he's a good ball handler for his size. He's a great ball handler for his size. He's so good. Obviously, 35 and 17 and 5. What a beautiful everything about him.
Mm-hmm.
But just like, you don't need to be doing that. You're gonna lose the ball, and he has, like, over the last couple of weeks. He's like turned the ball over sort of needlessly in transition for no real reason at all. And he's not a good passer in transition. We know this. So, like, just give it up.
I want to give credit to Tobias Harris, who was the one player who did not thrive when Harden arrived. Looked fucking just awful. Just like he was shaken. He didn't know what to do. And he even said, I think it was I don't know if it was a practice or whatever. He's like, I've never been asked to be the just catch it and shoot it guy or whatever. Mm-hmm. The last couple of games, he has certainly looked, it hasn't been perfect. He certainly looked more decisive, shooting threes quicker and making a few of them, which makes it even feel better.
Yeah, 3 of 6 tonight.
And shot 6 of them, which is great.
6 is huge.
Wonderful. And made 3.
I'd rather him be 3 of 6 than 3 of 3.
And prepare yourself. He had a couple of really nice defensive moments tonight. He competed on defense, I thought. You don't think?
His defense off ball is so bad.
I'm talking about on ball. I'm talking about on ball. Right.
There were a couple nice plays on ball because he's thick. He can body up, right?
Yep. Even a guard. He's not like super slow laterally or anything. He doesn't get blown by. Yeah. I don't think he does.
He does. Yeah, he does. He can't. His hips. You talk about Matisse's hips like swiveling quickly. Guy's got some slow hips, man. Creaky hips. Kind of to like use a door jam to open those hips up.
Tonight was a good. What did he finish with? What was his line?
19, 6, and 3 and a steal. Fine. No issue. No, offensively, I thought he was great. He never gets to a loose ball, which kills me. He's never gotten a loose ball in his career. Never seen him do it. I've just never seen, like, on ball, he's trying, he pays attention. Off ball, he overhelps. He thinks he can get back. He never can get back. He did have a nice deflection tonight. One had it. It was I will credit him with a deflection, but man, guy never gets a loose ball in his life. Not strong with the ball in offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, just like never loose. It's unbelievable. It kills me.
The offense, the rebounding shit is going to murder us during the playoffs. Like, just in terms of feeling, we're going to be watching games and watching teams get offensive rebounds, and we're going to throw up.
It's been better lately. I think Harden has helped that some. Embiid had 17 rebounds tonight, so they weren't getting anything. But I agree that in the playoffs, there are some teams that are going to go like, this is how we're going to beat these guys, because they just don't. There's too many guys in this team that just don't have a knack for the ball when it's loose. And Maxey is one of them. He had a big rebound off of that free throw, that Karis LeVert missed free throw, that after Tobias fouled LeVert on the drive, a perfect Tobias play, and that he was not close enough to actually contest the shot and make it difficult, but he was close enough to get the foul drawn on him. But Maxey got that big rebound, which is huge. But yeah, offensively, Tobias is great. It seems like, especially in the first half, it seems like, do you ever do this when you have to pee and you're like, I just want to do like a couple quick things before I pee? Like, get a glass of water and like put this dish away and like do this thing. It seems like, in a good way, he's accomplishing minor kitchen chores while he has to pee. Like, I feel like he's like, I'm like balls on my feet bouncing around doing it. I was like, that's great. Keep that energy. Even one time he had an open shot for 3 off the catch, and after he'd hit a couple, he was like pump and go, and he did get all the way to the rim, which is nice. Like, I'll take a pump and go if he's attacking off of it, not just if he's dribbling aimlessly. And then he hit the buzzer beater right to end the half. The ball left his hands with like 0.1 seconds left off a Harden drive, and we just must continue making him believe that the half is about to expire. And so it's nice to see him make that, not only take it, but make it. It seems like he never makes those shots. So it was a very, very nice offensive Tobias game. Mm-hmm. Did have a deflection or two. That's fine. But the off-ball stuff and the loose ball stuff kills me.
And this is nothing new. And we did mention DeAndre Jordan. Obviously, a bunch of players like him. He seems like a delightful guy. He used to be a really good player. I can't believe how bad he is. He's truly terrible. I mean, he's way worse than Drummond, and he's and I just can't. I don't want to.
Do you think he's worse than Dwight was last year?
Well, Dwight was fine during the regular season.
Yeah,
you know, I think he's worse. At least
I think so too.
Dwight still has impressive athleticism, even though it's gone away. A lot of what he has gone away. Jordan is. I just can't believe he doesn't try the other guys at all.
Yeah, he really doesn't.
Right? He just doesn't try the other guys at all.
And you watch these Charles Bassey G League clips, and you're like, that would apply. Mm-hmm. That could convey as in the NBA space. We're not asking him to like break guys down off the dribble, just like be lithe. DeAndre, not lithe, not remotely lithe. No. And B-Ball Paul, honestly, like I know he's weird, and he's gonna go somewhere else, and he's gonna be incredible at some point. I would love it to be here. I didn't hate Millsap as much as some other people did, just simply because he can at least offensively be a catch and shoot threat and like take the occasion, like drive occasionally and make the occasional nice pass. But DeAndre is a lob threat without much lobbing anymore. Yeah, he just doesn't have the legs for it. When he connects on one, it's like, oh, that's so nice. Look at that. That's the easiest thing in the world. They should do it every time. But like, he's just like slow and old and extremely limited and loses track of where he's supposed to be on defense a lot.
And speaking of defense, after a really good Thibault game the other night against Denver, he was fucking terrible tonight.
Yeah.
I mean,
a couple of those three great duck-ins in a row where not only does he make the play, but they find him for it. And it's like, you got to connect on those. And he's like, he does the thing that we talked about last pot where like Ben just like fading away on a layup that you're just like, just turn and pivot and dunk and get fouled. It's just like, do that. And it seems like he's got the has to pee energy that we want Tobias to have, but dude, you don't have to pee. I gotta tell you something. Like you may have a UTI. Like just go check because you don't have to pee at all. There's nothing coming out. Just like relax for a second. There was one play. Evan Mobley's great. I love it. Evan Mobley. I watched every game he played at SC. He's awesome.
People say teams are fun to watch all the time, but the Cavs are legitimately.
Yeah. And missing Jared Allen, which made it way easier for Embiid to dominate. But Evan Mobley's a great player, and there was one play where he's obviously a very different player, but defensively kind of similar-ish in versatility wise. And there was one play offensively when Evan Mobley was just like had the ball in the middle, like shot clock's running down, looking for somebody, pivoting. I think it was Tobias jumps on something, and then just like kind of the clock in Evan Mobley's mind is going so slow in a really nice way that you don't see out of a big man that young, who's just like very patient. And Matisse is never going to be like that in any way, but you'd like him to take a little bit of a breath and like work on one like power dribble, go up, or like a pivot and like a hard plant. Anything like that would be really, really nice because I don't need him taking layups really at all. Like I don't trust the like turn, pivot, dunk. Just like be Derrick Jones Jr. offensively and just like dunk everything. And if you don't, you'll be fouled, and that's fine. But yeah, I mean, I think Matisse just at this point alternates between good games and bad games. I thought he was really good in Denver. Had a bunch of nice plays. This time got gambling on some reaches. Got elbowed in the face. They didn't call it, so he gave up a dunk to Larry Markkinen off a seal. But you just need him. I like that they're finding him. He had a 3 tonight. That's fine. I like that they're finding him, but like we just can't be giving up points when we get easy looks for somebody like that.
The playoff shirt, you'll want to order it now so you can have it for the playoffs. There is a clean version and a dirty version. It has regular season bitch crossed out, and then underneath, playoff motherfucker. And there is the clean version. CJ, can you show the clean version? There you go. No butt on the shirt. But bitch.
Oh, there should have been a butt.
Bitch playoff, and motherfucker.
Playoff mother butt. Playoff mother B #T.
Order them now. They are screen printed. We don't do any of that digital printing. That sucks. Don't order T-shirts like that. So go to rightsrickysanchez.com. They're right there on the front page. But order soon so you get them in time for the playoffs. Adam Ksebe is the official realtor of the process. They've mentioned interest rates going up this week, I think, but only a quarter point. So still, want to get a house? You're thinking about it. Adam Ksebe is your guy. Buying a house right now. Been crazy for a year and a half now. You need somebody on your side. Adam Ksebe is the guy. His team, Long and Foster, out of Bethany Beach, have all of Delaware covered, have all of Maryland covered. You've been thinking about a shore house. It's spring. It's getting nice out. You don't want to rent a shore house. Just buy a shore house. Rent it out most of the summer. You'll get, that will basically pay your mortgage for the year, and then you have a place to go for a couple weeks during the summer, a couple weeks during the winter, whatever. Delaware, very little property tax, like 1/10 of what you're going to pay in Jersey. Tons of great Delaware shore towns. But if you need a realtor anywhere, Adam Ksebe and his team are the ones that do it. Any state. Adam can't sell you a house in every state, but he will interview the realtors and find you a good one. Also, if you want to sell your house, Adam Ksebe. It's spelled Ksebe. That is Ksebe. Trust me when I tell you, you need a realtor you can depend on, one of us, and that is Ksebe. He even sponsors Sixers Adams Writing. You can call him or text him. It's his direct cell phone, 302-864-8643. That's 302-864-8643. Or Adam at processrealtor.com. Got all of Delaware covered. Delaware beaches, buddy. And all of Maryland. And wherever you need them. Adam Ksebe, Ksebe. Happy birthday, Joel Embiid. Turned 28. Can you believe he's 28? Isn't that fucking wild?
It's been a long road.
Yeah, it
Drafted
has.
in 2014. That is now officially a long time ago.
Yeah. So the Sixers players, and we have, if you're watching, there's a good reason to watch. The Sixers players all wore Joel Embiid t-shirts at shoot-around today of a young Joel Embiid making a silly face. There's Maxey wearing the Joel Embiid t-shirt. There's Matisse Thybulle. And then there's Harden even wearing the Joel Embiid t-shirt. And then George Niang wearing the Embiid t-shirt. And then they had Maxey. They sung happy birthday to him with a little b-ball Paul dancing. This is how it went.
We're going to sing today. Yeah, we didn't see y'all in a while. Good to see you, Paul Reed. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Paul, do this, Paul, do this. Tyrese, you Paul, do this. Paul, do this. Keep it.
I love that they call him BP.
Yeah. I also like at the beginning of it, like
those are his initials.
Yeah, Doc Rivers says something like, "Oh, good to see you, Paul." Like he doesn't notice him any other practice. Like that was the only reason that B-ball Paul was there.
Hasn't heard of him.
It was funny to see Embiid looking. Honestly, even through all of that, he just looked so grown up to me. Did you listen to him on the podcast with Draymond Green?
I didn't. I saw a quote, but I didn't listen to it.
It's a lot of the same stuff that you normally hear, but I think the thing that I liked about it the best was how comfortable he sounded talking to Draymond Green. We've talked a lot about Embiid, while he has been a great player, hasn't been one of the guys in the NBA star realm or whatever, but he was there having a good time talking about defense, talking really comfortably about the Ben Simmons thing, like talking like a regular person, not on guard at all. And even talking about Draymond Green bringing up Andre Drummond. And Andre Drummond was like, yo, you guys had wars. And Embiid's like, yeah, we didn't have any wars. Like I dominated him. He's like, yeah, but then he came and had to be your backup. What were you thinking? It's just, the conversation was a good one, especially because every time I hear Embiid talk, it's nice to hear him talk, though I feel like I always hear the same things. But this one was a good conversation. And
I think about the you mentioned him like belonging, and I thought about it the other night because when he played against DeMarcus Cousins, who hit a couple shots that he just like shouldn't have hit. It was bullshit. They should have won that game, but I don't care. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to me. But the moment when DeMarcus was in Sacramento, and him and Embiid played together, and they like slapped each other's ass going up the court, which was very strange, but very funny. And then after the game, DeMarcus was like, that guy's going to be one of the best centers in the league. And it is crazy. Obviously, that did happen and happened like very quickly after that. And then DeMarcus' career like took a turn once he tore his Achilles. But like, it's crazy how good Embiid is, and how like universally seen as one of the very best players in the NBA he is. And you just appreciate it. You know, it's just, he's 28 years old. I hope he's got 4 or 5 years left in this prime. He deserves the MVP this year. I would love him to get a championship out of it. He's just the man. I'm so happy that he exists.
Because it didn't have to end this way. You know what I mean? Like it didn't.
Very likely it wouldn't have. Yeah.
Yeah. It didn't. The guy who comes into the league with the 7 foot, 250 pound guy with a broken foot and a broken back, doesn't have to, and then breaks his foot the second time, and doesn't have to end up as one of the best players in the league. In fact, most times it doesn't end up this way, And
no, I mean, I feel like you were not, like, you weren't a Greg Oden guy the way I was.
I was not.
You're certainly not a Zion guy like I am.
No.
And Embiid is the same. Like, he's obviously better than Oden.
Yeah.
Even as a prospect, just like what he's capable of. But like, he's right in there as like, you're gonna believe in this guy when he is this big and had this many injuries, and it's like just doesn't get it together, and he wasn't, his conditioning, blah blah blah. And like, he just did, and he plays almost every game now. I would love him to sit, but he's playing and he's happy playing, and he's just really good. He's the man. It's incredible that he's here. Incredible.
Draymond was talking about missing a bunch of games and how frustrating it was and how good it was to get back on the court. And Embiid was basically like, I missed 2 whole years.
Yeah, he said that?
Yeah. No, he wasn't demeaning what Draymond said. He was just trying to put in perspective how long that was.
Yeah.
And he's talked about thinking about retiring before. And you're right. This is my experience through it, is like, I don't wait for those other guys. They weren't really anything that I thought much about, but he has been, and it just like, it's really great that obviously I wanted to keep going and I wanted to end in a championship and all those things, but him getting from the point he was at to this current point is such a joy and a win and an unlikely scenario. Oh, he mentions Hinkie a lot too. He talks about, like, he did the whole thing.
He does his thing, man.
Yeah,
he knows what he does. Can we talk about? We didn't really talk about Maxey that much. I have a couple things to say about Maxey.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
The Magic broadcast, and I didn't check this. I should have checked it. But the Magic broadcast said that Maxey leads the league in corner 3 shooting at 63%, which regardless of that being true, if I'm spreading misinformation based on something I heard from Orlando, which is a dangerous thing to say, it's hard to describe how much this team is helped by the fact that he has made himself into a good shooter. We talk about it a lot. Like, he hit that 3, basically game-winning 3, when Embiid had the ball at the top of the key. They were up, I think, 1, and Embiid was like commanding double teams, and like Maxey was relocating. And then at the end of the shot clock, Embiid, quick little pass to Maxey on the wing, and just confidently steps into 3. I had no doubt in my mind that was going to go in. Like, he is just that guy. Like, 3 of 6 from 3, 9 of 15 from the field, 25 points. Like, I would love for him to have the ball in his hands more. I would absolutely love it, because just good shit happens when he has the ball in his hands. He's been cutting really nicely. He cut nicely off a Matisse drive. That was good. I'd love to see a little bit more of that. And he's finishing above the rim.
Yeah, that dunk was.
We talk about guys
crazy,
adding like size, like physically, and being able to withstand more matchups, and adding to the jump shots and adding to handle. But we don't talk about like that much. He was a kid. He's super athletic. If he can add more power to his lower body, the way he seems like he has been doing, then like him playing above the rim, like, he's not going to be Donovan Mitchell, but if he can get on the road to that a little bit, that opens up so much more for him. So he doesn't have to go up like, who was it? It was Monte Morris in the Denver game, where he goes up for a layup, Embiid blocks the shit out of it. If he goes up for a dunk there, then Embiid can't block it, or he has to foul him in the back of the head, whatever. And it seems like Maxey's had a couple games in a row with dunks in traffic sometimes. And it's just like, just good shit happen. He gets more to more loose balls than anybody else on the team, and it just good things happen when he is around the basketball. And I adore him as a player. And during those like 2 weird games when he seemed like he wasn't having fun, I don't know what happened, but like he's just like he's the man. He is the future of this franchise, as well as Embiid for as long as he's here. And like he needs to be treated as such. He is absolutely cornerstone level player. You can at this point just treat Maxey like we got him with like the 3rd overall pick. Like there's no reason to like even consider him as like, well, he's like a pick in the 20s now. Like no, like he went late because of like weird shit happens to guards from Kentucky, and he was easily a top 10 prospect coming into the season rather, his freshman season. And like you can just it's no longer surprising. Like he's just one of the best prospects in basketball, and I love that he's here, and I love him, and we need to give him the ball more.
I don't know how to look up corner 3 shooting.
I trust the Magic broadcast with my life. I always have.
I don't know how to do this shit. Just fucking
CJ says 41%. I heard 60, CJ. I think you're full of shit. I've never trusted CJ.
What the fuck does CJ know? You can't even see his bed.
Doesn't even know what True TV is. Not even watching the fucking game. Half a semester at Rutgers. Get out of here. It's 64. Whatever I said, it is. It feels like more. Feels like he shoots 80% on that. I'm going to say it's 80 now.
The hard to stomach YouTube comment of the week brought to you by Stateside Vodka. There you go. StatesideVodka.com. I'm actually going to read 2 of them. The first one is for you, Mike. It's from Tyler. Not to roast you, Mike, but your hair flip has a middle school boy look to it. Looks like I could surf on that thing. This was the last one. You did have a surfing. Your hair did look like you could surf on it in a good way.
People like surfing?
Yeah. And then this comes from Philly to Comp. The answer to the Tobias Harris replacement question is John Collins. So our question is, who was the perfect 4 next to Embiid? I
don't agree with that.
Looked tonight and saw Lauri Markkanen. And
yeah, Lauri's good.
He's great. Good. He's athletic, and he's not a great defender or anything, but will fucking launch from 3. Mm-hmm. The thing that makes me nervous about John Collins is whether he'll launch from 3 or not.
Yeah, he won't.
Yeah.
If he's not doing it around a Trae Young, Clint Capella, or Trae Young, Onyeka Okongwu pick and roll, then he's not. Why would he do it here? It's not what he wants to be. It's not natural. So John Collins is not the answer. I don't think he'd be horrendous here. He would just run into some similar issues as Tobias. I would love, and I would be so stunned if this is the Tobias we get for the rest of the season into the playoffs.
Oh, I would be stunned. Like
nobody reverts back to their old habits more than Tobias. Maybe Doc Rivers is the answer, but between those 2 guys, they just love. Like, look, they fall back on what they like and what is natural for them, and he's just not a guy that moves quickly. He doesn't do stuff quickly. The biggest issue for me, Sixers wise, right now, I said the transition defense, but like the bench cannot keep getting outscored as badly as it is. Like I think some of that is a little reductive in the sense that, yeah, I mean, they just need to be there to space the floor and then let Harden and Embiid and Maxey do their thing. But you need a little bit more than that. Like they need a little bit more. And they tried Shake and they benched him, and they tried Isaiah Joe and they fouled a guy and then he got taken out.
Ferk's dead somewhere.
Ferk is dead.
Yeah.
I would honestly give Charlie Brown a shot. I'm not joking about that. Like Charlie Brown, weird Jonah Bolden-ass shot. It's fine. He at least is fast and athletic and does stuff and would cut and get some loose balls. I would try it because right now, Shake had those 2 good games and we were like, this is awesome. Shake is back. He's healthy. And then he didn't anymore. It's tough. I think they're also in a tough position. Like Niang has always been this guy, right? Where he's been like coming off the bench, no conscience, shoot. Like that is who he is. That is like, since he got to the league, he wasn't that at Iowa State, but since he got to the league, that's who he's been. That's how he's had to get minutes. Danny Green, same thing. And those guys just like know that that's what their role is. That's what they're doing. But like Korkmaz and Shake, Isaiah Joe hasn't really gotten much run. I think they need time to work into like what they're good at and become like NBA vets, and they're just not there yet. They're not like automatic vets coming off the bench cold. I'm ready to go. I know what I'm supposed to do. So it's concerning for sure because they just need a little bit of help. They don't need too much help, just need a little bit. And right now they're not getting it.
The mailbag is writesrickysanchez@gmail.com. Send us a basketball and non-basketball question. This comes from Swarthmore Wood. I hate to give too much credence to Shaq as an analyst, but I feel like he made a good point on the Sixers Net broadcast, and it continues to play out. Kyrie not playing every day means every game he shows up, he's playing with fresh legs versus guys 70 games into the season with nicks and dead legs. They get into the playoffs, and he is the freshest star playing. That's true, but he cannot play home games. So that's the problem, is that he can only play half the games. He gets hurt a lot. Yes, if the rule changes, obviously it will help them, but you can't just you don't want to just tank the season, go into the play-in and take a chance on your second best player not being able to play home games.
I mean, nobody's saying that Kyrie and Durant are not both very good offensive players.
They're fucking awesome.
It's
Kyrie
just
awesome.
they have an uphill battle because of those circumstances that Kyrie has willingly gotten himself into, that he is capable of not being in. If he wanted to do it, he could decide to do something else. Instead, he's just complaining about other people's decisions when he has the capability of making his own.
Basketball question. Top 5 players who put up stats but ooze loser energy. Besides 25, I have Cat as a clear top 1 or 2.
Used to be, not anymore.
Sorry about his family and hate to pick on him, but clearly only cares about shooting percentages. Yeah, previously he has exuded loser energy. I haven't watched a ton of Timberwolves this year. Obviously they're winning, but isn't Anthony Edwards is the winner on that team?
He's been kind of bad over the last month or two. He's struggled.
No, okay.
He's struggled. D'Angelo's been good, and Malik Beasley came back to life a little bit, but it's mostly been Cat. He's been great.
So top players that put up numbers that have loser energy, I would say. One LeBron James has plenty of loser energy.
He's won too many times for him to be a loser.
You get this point in his energy, career, though.
At this point in his career, absolutely.
Loser energy. Who else?
He's definitely hunting a scoring title and not going back on defense, LeBron.
Yeah, well, the hunting the scoring title is... When Kobe was scoring 40 a game in his farewell tour and they sucked, everybody knew it was his farewell tour, and everyone just sort of... This is like LeBron... trying, hey, look over here. Don't look at that over there. I don't know. Did any other top players you think, Harden has been accused of having loser energy?
Sure. Paul George kind of.
Paul George does have a little bit of loser energy. Trae Young, you go back and forth. He's got competitor winner energy.
Yeah, villain.
Sometimes villain energy.
Little shit energy for sure, but that's kind of how it's got to be.
Donovan Mitchell has a little bit of loser energy, I think. And Julius Randle has a little bit of loser energy.
Yeah.
Anybody else stick out in your mind?
If Tyler Hero was on a tanking team, he probably would.
Oh, here we go.
He probably would. Come on, you know it. He's a little shit.
He is a little shit, but it's sort of like Trae Young. I don't think is it loser energy? I guess on the
it's
wrong team.
Little shit energy is probably a different mode.
Yeah,
Christian Wood in as far as getting stats and not seeming like he gives a shit. I respect Christian Wood as a process player, but
13th grader. Yeah. Oh, here we go. On NBA.com, thanks to J.J, on NBA.com, search players shooting distance range corner 3. Maxey is 58.5 on 0.7 attempts per game.
Close enough.
There you go, 60%. Before we get to maybe one of the greatest, a great mailbag question. CJ texted me, oh my God, that mailbag question. That is coming up next. Body Bio is a trusted sponsor of the Ricky. You can't trust your health with just anybody. Body Bio. Mike over Body Bio is a Ricky guy. Jess is not a Ricky person, but she's a Ricky person over Body Bio. Body Bio is a family-owned and operated company. They are a supplement company, and being family-owned and operated is really good if you're a supplement company because you can be nimble. You can change when you need to change, And they don't just white label their products like they're their products. Butyrate is the one that I want to talk to you about now. I stopped taking Elite for about 6 weeks, and I started getting cramps in my feet. You don't want to do that driving on 78 into New York City. It's horrible. Started Elite again. It's good. Elite is great. Butyrate is the only gut supplement you need. If you're only going to take one, take Butyrate. Your body makes Butyrate, Butyrate, but it doesn't make enough of it. It's a postbiotic. So what you want to do is you want to take Butyrate after you eat. The bloat, it goes away. The bloat that you have, it goes away. You feel it at the end of the day. You feel it around lunch, middle of the day. You're at the office. Sucks. Gets rid of the bloat. Makes you more regular. Your BM's a lot better with Butyrate. Just take a couple of pills after each meal. Completely safe. Your body makes it nothing to worry about there. Butyrate. It's the only one you need. The only postbiotic you need. Go to bodybio.com and use code RTRS20 for 20% off anything at BodyBio. RTRS20 for 20% off. You want to use it for Elite, for Calm, for liposomal vitamin C, and for Butyrate. BodyBio. We love BodyBio. RTRS20 at bodybio.com. All right, Mike, you ready for this one? This comes from Michael. Hey, Spike, Mike, and CJ, long time, first time here, but really enjoy and appreciate your Sixers and non-Sixers content. I have a real, non-basketball question I need to hear your takes on. For many years now, I've cut my own hair at home. I don't do anything fancy. I just buzz it short to keep it low maintenance. I don't think I've seen a barber in maybe 15 years. This last Christmas, my wife gifted me a set of Wall brand professional electric hair clippers. I have them. They're great. They're real nice and basically exactly what you want to see in a barbershop. After the first few uses, I told my wife how I liked them and how easy they were. Word quickly spread amongst the family, and now we have in-home barbershop nights where my wife cuts the hair of my young son, who is 5, her brother, who's 32, her father, who's 65, with my clippers. Here is my issue. The hair on my head is not the only hair I use these clippers for. I use them basically everywhere. Full service manscaping, if you know what I mean. I've kept that detail to myself thus far. Here's my question. Am I in the wrong to continue to let my child and my brother and father-in-law's hair to be cut using the same clippers I use to trim my junk, my armpits, and other darker areas?
Armpits.
When I finish using them, I brush them off and shake it out the best I can, but I don't really sanitize them or anything. Whenever this occurs, I can't help but think about the indirect contact between my balls and their skulls. Eager to hear your thoughts.
My balls and their skulls is a tough collection of words placed next to each other.
You can't stop now.
Well, you could. You totally could.
Would you just buy another set of clippers?
I think you
can't admit what happened.
I think that's the answer. I think if you... Do you wash them between?
You can't. Like you can brush them and you can oil them, but you can't wash them. It's like it's a metal little engine. They'll rust.
Washcloth?
Yeah, I guess you could take them apart, but the hairs get in there. I mean, somebody
they get in there. They get in there. No
I have Wall, clippers. You can't clean them the way that you want to clean them.
That's tough.
They're like $60. Just buy another pair. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
And use the other pair for clipper night, for barber night.
Armpits. Interesting. That's interesting to me.
Oh, really?
People shaving their armpits out there?
Yeah, you got to clip everything. Keep everything the right length.
Let it ride, baby.
Oh, really?
We're just people of the earth, children of the soil.
People swinging on your armpit hair like Tarzan.
It's not that long. I might have shaved it when I was 16 or something stupid like that, but as an adult, you just let it
go. And for my basketball question, what are your final 4 picks and what player should I watch with the hopes the Sixers can draft and ruin him?
Oh, wow.
Well,
I haven't
I'll see you guys
filled out
later.
my bracket yet because I'm waiting for CJ's Rutgers Notre Dame game. So I have a blank one in front of me. Very fun to fill it out on paper, so you can then use the highlighter or the red pen to ruin your day. It's going to be good.
Okay.
It's going to be good. I haven't picked yet, honestly.
Okay.
But I can talk about some prospects that I like. Should I get how many do you want to give me?
5.
5. Okay, I thought it'd be less.
No, this is your podcast too.
Okay. So I'll do 4. I'll do 1 from each region.
Okay.
Okay, so I do 4 that are like Sixers-y, like in the Sixers range.
Yes.
But they don't have a pick this year.
What am
Should
I
I do
doing?
the second round? Should I go that deep?
I told you to pick 5 players that we can't even
decide.
Yeah.
There's no way to know. They don't have a second round pick either.
All right, we'll go to the next question.
No, let me give a couple that I like. Okay. Let me give a couple that I like.
Okay.
All right, I'll do one from each region, just like random guys for like second round undrafted type of things. Lucas Williamson, Loyola Chicago.
Yeah.
6'4". He's been on that Loyola Chicago team for years. He was on the team that made the run, Sister Jean. He's thick, physical, wing, can shoot, can do a little bit more than that too, but like good defender. They play really slow. Loyola does, and so his stats are a little artificially deflated because of it, but like solid player, should be an NBA player. I think there's some like Royce O'Neal in there. I feel like I'm always talking about Royce O'Neal, and that's who I want. So like put me down for like one like undrafted Lucas Williamson, next Royce O'Neal type of thing.
Okay.
That's one. I'll talk about one good one that is not like that. Keegan Murray is awesome on Iowa. He rules. He is very like he's long. He can do everything on the basketball court. I think when there's a guy that's like can do everything on the court but isn't like supernatural, I kind of like label them a Paul George type, like the best version of a 3-and-D type guy that actually plays defense, that actually has some handles to him. Mikal Bridges is another one, although his handle is a little lacking. But like Keegan Murray's awesome. He has a twin brother Chris, who's also really good and interesting as a later round prospect. He's a sophomore out of Iowa. He's really cool and fun to root for. Their offense is sick over there, and their coach is a Philly guy, which is cool. Fran McCaffrey. All right, I'll give Cedar a little love. I'm not watching the game right now because we're doing a podcast. But Rutgers, Notre Dame, Scarlet Knights, Ron Harper Jr. I've talked about him before. Big, physical. Obviously, his dad is Ron Harper. Can shoot. I see some like maybe not the shooter that this guy is, but a little bit better of a defender. I would say maybe like Jordan Nora, who's playing some decent minutes for Milwaukee. Like just give me like an athletic guy and I love a fat guy who has athleticism. Because you can go like get him in our regimen and we can like unlock athleticism there. I always love that. I got to look around for like a backup stretch 5 who can actually shoot, because I'm always in the hunt for that. I believed in Jay Huff last year, but he hasn't really made a roster. And let's talk Jaime Jaquez on UCLA. He is another big wing, capable of playing a little bit bigger he could probably play the 4 in the league. Can shoot. Can like bully guys down low, moves well, smart player. Those are the guys I'm looking at. There's a bunch of them, but those are just off the top of my head. I love them.
Good deal. There you go. This comes from James. Hey, Spike and Mike, as much as I've truly loved watching Embiid feast on easy layups and open mid-range jumpers out of the Harden pick and roll, thought crossed my mind during the Denver game. While watching JaMychal Green commit a Geneva Convention violation on an Embiid dunk that left him rolling on the floor, I started to wonder whether increasing Joel's usage as a role guy is significantly increasing his risk of injury. Mm-hmm. Outside of the occasional pump, fake, and drive, it seems like most of his layups come from a power dribble on the low post rather than a full-speed attack. Obviously, his lack of durability has been overblown by opposing fans of the last few seasons, but I'm curious what you guys think of this. Yeah, I mean, he's not fucking Tyson Chandler or prime DeAndre Jordan or Clint Capella. He's not athletic in that same way. He does take
I think he is, and he chooses not to be, I would say.
Well, those guys are a flexible and leap in a way that he cannot. Mm-hmm. And and he does tend to do this weird landing where it's like a meniscus or ACL tear landing where his knee like doesn't land straight down or something. Buckles a little bit. Yeah.
He's always done that. The way I think maybe that's I don't know if it's a soccer thing or a volleyball thing, but I remember watching him at Kansas when he would like go up and under. He like makes himself small in a strange way, where his knees get very like low,
leaning back or something.
Yeah, it's odd. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, look, the way he plays really hard. So much attention is paid to him. Like he had to get in incredibly good shape to withstand the beating that he constantly takes, and he did. And so, like, I don't think not rolling is making him like, oh, he's going to play for 10 more years, whatever it is. So, I'm not more concerned than I would be otherwise, based on the rolling.
And then what was a non-basketball question? Have you noticed George Niang's obsession with the weekend on his social media? I'm truly baffled by it, as the NBA players inherently don't have weekends in the traditional sense. What do you guys make of it? Is it a bit part of a brand deal? I haven't seen him on social media. He doesn't mean the artist The Weeknd. He means
that's what I thought you meant initially. But I also don't see him on social media. So
the actual weekend.
Look, who doesn't love it? It's just a fun vibe. I don't know what his home life is. Maybe he's got people that are like, there's a weekend there. He's excited for his family who loves the weekend.
From an anonymous Sixers fan, final email. Hi, guys. When I was a kid, I remember seeing Steve Nash clipping his fingernails while on the bench during games. He's not the only one. Mike Bibby was known for it as well. LeBron has done this several times. AD clipped his toenails while courtside during the bubble. I hope we can all agree that this is lunatic behavior. So I was thinking of a jigsaw. Option 1. Every 2 weeks, you have to trim your fingernails and toenails at work. It has to be in a public setting where others see you doing this. You can't explain your way out of the awkwardness. You have to deal with the social and professional consequences. Option 2. Every other day, you have to shave your face with a cheap single blade razor. You cannot use shaving cream, only soap. It causes minor irritation and razor bumps on your neck, and you have several nicks on your face each time you shave. You have to apply pressure to the cuts to stop the bleeding for about 15 minutes after shaving. You can only replace the razor once every 3 months. Now, I think I know what you would select, Mike, but I don't want to say it. I
honestly was thinking about the first one so much and how much of a nightmare I would be that I didn't even hear the second one. Let me see. Single blade razor, shaving cream, my irritation. Yeah, that's fine. Second one, definitely.
Oh, wow. Definitely. I see. So I thought you picked the first one because your answer is usually, yeah, it's cool. I'll just be the toenail guy.
No, I can't express to you what being in a comedy writer's room is like. It is just it's not about being insulted or anything. There's definitely be room bits about it, but it would get around so fast that you are this guy. I heard yesterday a story of a different show that I actually do know somebody on staff, but I didn't know that I knew them. I didn't know that they were on the show. About a showrunner who sent a wild email to his staff, and then people talk, and all of a sudden it's then that's who that person is. The person who sent that email, and everybody's talking about it because it's such a singular experience being a comedy writer that it just gets around all the time. And so no, I would not, being it in a writer's room doing this, absolutely not. Alyssa was an assistant on a show where someone upper level writer vaped in the room and would blow the smoke in her face as the assistant, which was bizarre.
Yeah.
And had their feet up and barefoot with the sandals. It's very bizarre. So there's an etiquette. Writer's rooms also after a while, when you're in person, smell bad. Not because the people are inherently smelly, but just being that many people inside of a room there for so long, just sitting there talking, it gets after 6:15, the intense body smell.
Yeah.
It is bad. So the feet guy, I can't be it. Not a chance.
For somebody, now this goes back a way. Do you remember a jigsaw when somebody asked about your most defining characteristic being that you're a huge fan of Will Ferrell? Do you remember that? Do you remember that vaguely?
Vaguely, yeah.
I remember there's a lot of these that I feel if that is the case in your job, that almost none of them where you're the fun guy who wears big clown shoes or whatever, it doesn't work. I think we might have to retroactively go back over the jigsaws and
maybe Will Ferrell's he's very funny.
Yeah, but
Will Ferrell universally beloved at least among writers for sure.
But you don't want your defining characteristic being that you love Will Ferrell, because
I don't think I want my defining characteristic being anything.
Right.
I don't want to have. I resist being labeled very often. When people call me a sports guy, I'm there's multiple kinds of sports guys. Hang on a second. And obviously I'm a huge sports fan to a psychotic degree, but I think sports guy gives off Barstool vibes in a way that I don't like to consider myself. There's sports dude. There's sports nerd, which I've been called before, and I like that.
But you're not that really.
I'm sports nerd for sure. I'm for sure sports nerd. Spike, we have a podcast. I'm absolutely a sports nerd, 100%. But then sports douche, I think, is more in that thing that's what I want to shy away from.
Okay. I thought if you were a white Jewish guy, you just had to have a podcast. I thought that's why we were doing this.
I would just trying to look. I like doing this, but the freedom it would feel to not have to be thinking about the Sixers as much as I do, and maybe I would anyway. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. Well, we
big time sports nerd.
Sixers play the Mavs on Friday, and then play the Raptors on Sunday as their run of tough teams continue. The Mavs are playing well. The Raptors are playing particularly well.
Mavs just beat the Nets on the Spencer Dinwiddie buzzer beater.
The Sixers, I haven't looked at the standings after the win, but are basically like 3.5 games out of first and also 3.5 games out of the play-in.
Yeah.
So
we should talk about this next time. I would love the 3 seed is where I want to be. If I could place it, I would like to be the 3 seed.
But we don't know who the other seeds are going to be.
I don't care. 3 seed ideal for me because it's not. I think honestly, being a top 2 seed, not knowing who your opponent is going to be,
scared of the Nets,
is a little bit. I don't know if I'm scared of the Nets. I would love the game. I think Ben. We didn't talk about this, but Ben had an epidural in his back, which seems fucking crazy and very upsetting and serious and weird. So it seems like at this point, they're like, he's going to play a couple games before the playoffs. I'm like, I fucking doubt it.
That's a weird word to use that they used in that article. I think he probably had a cortisone shot in his back. Yeah. I don't know anything, but it's a very strange, thing to say. An epidural, whatever, is like
not giving birth.
Yeah, is a numbing thing for something else. Like I think he got a cortisone shot. That's my guess. If he has I've received them before. They're uncomfortable, but like 2 days later, you're what it's supposed to do is get rid of the inflammation in your back. So
anyway, I think that similar to the tournament when like you see teams in the first 4, 12 seeds, 11 seeds make a run. I think there's going to be good teams in the play, and regardless of if it's the Nets, there's a little momentum of like winning a round already and feeling like you're there. I would rather be the 3 seed. Let me know who my opponent is for a couple days. Let me scheme for him and everything, and let's feel good about hosting a series and then probably playing the Bucks in the second round, which would be a good game.
Mm-hmm. All right, we will talk to you this weekend. Are you done with TTP? Happy birthday, Joel, by the way. Are you done with TTP?
Yeah, lick face.